Hope this email finds you well. Moving forward, that drives
That is the most
me
insulting
up
shit ever. Every time someone says
the
that, I give
wall.
them the fuck you, the
Up the goddamn wall. Moving forward.
politically correct office etiquette. Fuck you. That's what I do. Noted.
Noted.
Period.
Period.
And just hit send.
Uh, we weren't like this. We weren't. We weren't like this when we say the shit. We say like that's fucked up, but it's very interesting once we get into like
They should start making that
corporate.
acceptable in the workplace.
Listen, if I'm working with you and we've been working together for over, I would say like if we pass the 1 year mark, we can use floor and filth with each other.
I mean,
all right. If the
once
email,
you pass your probation, fuck that.
that's right. If the email is just us, I don't have to keep it professional.
Oh, when they CC everybody in their mama.
Right. No, you can CC.
Now, who
You could CC. But one of the things that really got to me, like after like my first year working at the company that I was working for, I'm working with right now currently. Like after the first year, I just got comfortable and I just start emailing just a person like, let me know with a LEMME know when you get this and I can take care of it. And she's like, and then she came up to me. She's like, oh, it's very informal. It has to be more professional. I said, girl, it's just us. I know how to keep proper email etiquette, when it comes to
I'm not writing a whole
companies
essay. I'm
and
sorry.
right.
I'm not
If when it
writing a
comes
whole
to
essay. I'm
different
not writing a whole
employers and
paragraph.
different people, I know how to shut shit down like at like corporate level.
What is it, code
But if
switching,
I'm
they
just
call it?
talking to you, I'm a talk to you. I'm a be like, yo, let me. I bet. I cool. Let me just, and it's like, no. Oh, you got to keep it professional. This is a professional environment. I was like, oh, whatever, fine, whatever.
And with that said, welcome to episode 4 of the season 2 of Be Responsible podcast. You feel better now?
Well, a little, yes.
Yeah.
Talking does help alleviate tensions of real life
I just want
shit.
to know why my nose looks so bad.
I don't know. Why does your nose?
It's not cocaine, I'll tell you that. Because ain't nothing going up there. I can't
What did
afford
five
that.
fingers say to the face?
Ain't nothing going up there. I'll tell you that much. I cannot afford that. Shit, I can barely afford my rent, let alone drugs.
But wait, have you ever tried
Cocaine?
Yeah.
You know what? I never.
Ditto.
No, wait. Let me.
I've never bumped anything.
No. This.
You never had that white candy?
No. I'm trying to. I did try weed.
Okay. Yeah. Ditto. Yeah.
I never did cocaine. I never done drugs. There was one exception. About 5 years ago, before I started therapy, which is why I started therapy. It was probably during year 1 after the HIV diagnosis, and when I was in the shelter and so on and so forth, and yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. I was going through a whole downward spiral where it got to the point where I went back to my sex worker days.
Okay.
Well, my sex worker ways. And I was just going to Hanger and Monster and Ties and pretty much pimping myself out for drinks and money and so on and so forth. People, when you give them 5 seconds of attention, once they start talking, you're their best friend, and when you give them attention, as long as you keep them entertained, they will buy you everything
under the sun.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so then that turned into pills and little objectives. No.
Okay.
shimmy sessions and the thing.
When you say shimmy, shimmy, is like hand job shimmy, shimmies? Yeah.
And other things. And, because, they see us certain, hold on. Certain people are seen, like certain, I guess, types.
Okay.
Archetypes.
Yeah.
I'm used to the word archetypes.
Okay.
Because like Powerball and Bear, so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
otters.
So
and,
them white people, once they see something that's not commonly seen in the bars, you're pretty much seen as an exotic. And
You're
it's just
exotic.
like they
You're
just
all over
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, they wanted to experience what my little brother calls the rhino horn.
Little rhino horn. I can.
He's gonna kill me. He makes fun of me. He's like, yeah, he's like that's why they go crazy for you. You got that rhino horn. Whatever the fuck that.
But
means.
wait, does yours curve up?
You never seen it?
No.
All the fucking years I've known you,
Never.
I've seen your ass pick plastered everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
I literally seen like
yeah, you see like the Vogue cover, you see the Ebony cover, yeah, you see. You've seen like every different magazine cover of my ass for sure, but no, I never saw your junkers. No, I automatically assume that it's uncut and that it's like average, so average like 6.5 to 7.
Now you kind of insulting me. How fucking dare you?
Wait, but it's not uncut?
It's uncut.
Okay, thank you.
That part is correct. The second part, not that I'm a side. Hold on, you put some respect on the rhinos on there. How fucking dare you? Just add another inch, but anyway. I mean, listen.
You know, it's like
you know what?
I feel like when it comes to Spanish or Latino men, it's one of the two things guaranteed. One for sure that it's uncut, and that second that it may have a curve. That's it.
I come with a disclaimer. I tell people I'm a girl, not a shower. It's average. It's whatever. I mean, I'm not growing this one and so forth. So it's out there. It's 7.5. It's not 6, bitch.
Hey, bigger than me. I'm like someone's like what 4.2 at best. Like I am not big at all.
But you don't use it.
Mine's is like if you ever go to the museum and you see like
don't do that to yourself.
You go to like a Greek sculpture of like.
Let you.
Oh, this is a Greek sculpture of Adam, and you see Adam with his like 2-inch stone penis. That's me.
Look at the pictures, not the text messages.
Okay, not the text messages.
I couldn't find them, but I just sent them to someone recently.
Okay. Okay.
I hope they're in there. I think.
Okay. Let's go there. Okay. All right.
I don't like the silence.
Okay. Oh. Nice.
Okay, get my phone back. Thank you.
It's not bad.
Now, do you see the rhino horn reference, or?
I see the curve to the side. I don't see like the right.
You know what? Goodbye. Get the fuck out my house.
And that concludes the episode, y'all.
Yeah, this is your host,
Dexter the what?
The voice you hate hearing but can't stop listening to.
That's right, and this is Rara, your lovable teddy cuddly buddy. That's a therapist and only sees the best and wish the best.
And judge our vinyl horns, curbs, and everything else.
I mean,
creator. Listen, at least the color and everything matches, so that's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, the color does matches. Yes, for sure. It's not bad.
Why is he still putting the thing? Oh no. Is he supposed to do that? I'm like, oh wait, I just noticed. Oops, Dexter, get it together. Pay attention. All right, now that our audience knows. God, that is not how I was expecting that conversation to go. But anyway,
let's talk about office etiquettes, though.
Yeah, going back to per my last email.
Do you feel like so? What about for you? If you're working in corporate, does that have to be?
That's one of the reasons why I left.
Yeah.
People hate my emails because you either get one of two things. Simple and clean by Otada Hikaru before Michael was born, or you're gonna get talked to like you're a 2-year-old. Because I've noticed that people don't pay attention. Like for example, I could talk about it because they laid us off. So at my job, the job I was just at, we would have to submit a written report of what happened during the night. Not only that, but then we have 4 check-ins during the night. We have team meeting calls.
Okay.
I mean, obviously for safety reasons, since we're all working at different sites or whatever, but we went over the same information. And then we had a whole form that we had to fill out that the same information that's on the written report that we made literally goes into it. So I'm sending you the same information 3 times. And you're going to go and call me and talk about, how many ejections were there? And I'm like, I sent it to you 3 fucking times.
Right.
So I'm not responding. I'm like, refer back to
Last per email.
So when in that culture, it was either like no, yes, blah 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 blah, point blank. That said, I didn't do no warmest regards. Hope your day is well.
Best regards.
Because I think it's all filler. Like I don't need to know how the fuck to answer the fucking question. Is the report ready? What time is the meeting? Who's coming? What do you need me to order?
Right.
I don't need this whole warmest regards, sunshine. Look, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? So you either get that or you get the at 12:54 p.m. at exactly 32 seconds into the thing from a 90-degree angle, and you came into the office and threw the chair in a 90-degree angle perpendicular and hit Michael in the head, who now has a bump. 30 seconds after this incident, I rushed to the thing, called 911, and it's one or the other.
It's one or the other.
And I said, I'm not doing that whole per my email. This and that. I don't even do that anymore. You know what I do?
What do you do?
I take screenshots and I send it.
That's it.
Please refer to screenshot.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't even bother writing a whole. Please refer to screenshot. Boop, send it, and that's it.
Yeah, and it just amazed me, like where I kind of feel like kind of like with Wi-Fi, kind of like where Wi-Fi just came out of nowhere, and we have to connect to the Wi-Fi in order to use the internet. Like this whole etiquette of emailing, just kind of like was pre-made, but yet again forced on us, like how we should be responding in an office setting. You get what I'm saying?
And the CCing everybody.
And the CC. Why do you CC?
Why is the janitor being like the janitor doesn't even have a fucking phone.
They don't even know how to use a computer.
The janitor's older than me and you put together.
Why are they being CC?
The janitor literally works only 4 hours for one day. Why are you emailing him about a meeting on Friday when he only works on Monday?
So here's the crazy thing about CCing, right?
Fuck.
No, the CCing is like if the email thread starts with CCing the world, then fine. I guess the world has to be a part of this, like,
if
you
it's
know,
a general
kumbaya.
announcement, yeah, but
right.
Like
but if we're having a conversation and we've been having a good, you know, just kind of like repertoire as like responding to each other's email for like about 3 to 4 days, and then you tell me on the 5th day on Friday you're gonna CC everybody through the whole conversation that we've been having for the whole entire week. Now you want to CC the world on this?
I got in trouble for. I just delete. I'm like, oh, look
I'm
at that.
like, why?
I'm not reading 20 days of.
Did I say something insulting? Nothing was insulting. It's like, as per our discussion, it's like, no, can you talk to me first before CCing everybody?
What's that word I used to talk? So not accountability, covering your own.
That's what it is, covering your own ass. Yeah, covering your own ass, and it's like. And can we just say that you know, for people like us that sends emails, you know, on a daily basis, it's safe to say people don't read. You could have a detailed description as to A to Z on what to do with how.
What did you mean?
Oh, but so
like,
what?
2 o'clock, right?
Where?
Like,
when does it start? Are we in person or is it going to be through Zoom? It is like, yo.
That shit irks me.
As like, and
well, we only use Zoom. When have we ever used FaceTime? Why would we think it was on? I thought the meeting was on Facebook.
Right. Right. Oh, it's gonna be on Saturday. And you get an email response. What day does it start? It's like, at this point in time, it's like you're better off like recording a video of like
and sending it to everybody.
Because like at least the video they have to look, listen, and hear it in order to like, you know, put 2 to 2 together.
I just started sending confirmations and read receipts.
Listen, that part. You
need to click the part that says yes, I received this email. Everybody used to hate it, but I'm like, nah, because yeah, acting like I can't fucking read.
That part. So I don't know if I mentioned to you before about being on a PIP. That I ever took.
The performance improvement plan.
Yeah.
How's that going?
So I was on a 60-day PIP, pretty much like the performance plan, because they said I wasn't meeting certain criteria.
So what did they pick on?
So they picked on.
Because they find the most stupidest shit to like be like, oh, you need to work on your.
Listen, Linda, everything about. Just say that I suck as a human being in your office. Like, you know, just say that. Just say that. Look, you just suck. Like, I don't even know why we hired you. You caught us with that smile. We caught us with that joke. But now we looking at you. You ain't doing it for us, right? Just say that, and I would respect that, because, you know, we're from the 90s. I mean, 90s. I mean, we was born from the 80s. Just say what it is. You know, we're not gonna get butt hurt. But anyways, so they put me on a 60-day plan. And I'm not gonna front. At the beginning of it, I was like high anxiety, doji, like
I was like, because you mentioned it to me, and I told you don't be high anxiety.
Right? It's like But as the day goes by, I'm like, oh, this isn't really nothing. So now I'm like, all right. After the 60 days, they extended it for 30 days, and I'm like,
Uh huh.
so now my Brooklyn senses are tingling now. It's like, oh, are you actually
No,
quiet firing me?
no,
Like, is
because
this
you
like
know what it
a
is.
push out?
They have to sit with you,
Right.
and they have to go through line by line the whole entire PIP,
Yeah.
then sign off, and then put whether or not during those 60 days you improved or you didn't improve.
Right.
And they ain't trying to do that.
And they ain't trying to
Because then
do
they have to
that.
do it for. So I don't know how many people you have in your
It's
location.
just four of us.
It's just that's
Yeah.
fucking lazy.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
what it
four
is.
of
It's fucking
us.
because we had like 16 staff members.
Mm.
But then again, we had different programs. We were part of Brooklyn Peer Advocacy. I think our staff was 16. And it took a whole 3 days for them to go through all the pips. And I respect her
Yeah.
because she looked at me and she's like, this is bullshit. She's like, I'm going to tell you the same thing you already tell yourselves. You need to be a little bit more nicer to people, smile, and, tone down the sarcasm. And I was like, yeah, bye, no, thank you, bye.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
And so pretty much the extension. Now here's a part. This extension was focusing on my communications because clearly, I don't know how to communicate.
Because per your last email, you weren't clear enough.
I'm like communications is like
You're a therapist. How? Make it make sense.
all I do is talk.
Exactly. You're the most therapist person I ever met.
So one of the things
Shit.
that my boss had kind of mentioned to me is that he hates micromanaging, and that he wants it to know that everything is being done, but he needs to have clear communication as far as if it's getting done. So now I had to sit with that for a little bit. Like, okay, he hates micromanaging. So what's the reverse of micromanaging? Micro reporting? You know what I mean? So do I have to like over hypertentively
Do you
let
want
you
a
know
to-do
that
list, a task list, a checkoff list?
I already set that in motion the second he said that I don't communicate. I already made a task list. I already made things a little pinpoints of what to do at certain times. But at the same time, it's like, so what benefits you to know that I'm emailing you every 3 seconds as to, oh, I sent out this email. Oh, I emailed this. Oh, I emailed that. But I think that's what he wants for the next 30 days. And then
You sure he don't want you?
I mean, I don't blame him if he does, but nah, he's as straight as a board. Straight
Until
guys.
they get wet. No. I'm straight as a noodle.
But
until noodles get wet.
at this time, I'm like, all right, I love communicating. I think communication is not hard for me at all. In fact, that's something that I thrive in.
It is fucking not.
Yeah, and so I something I thrive in. So I'm just
Can I sign
literally,
off on your pit?
literally.
I like this motherfucker doesn't shut the fuck up.
I'm before I started out with this whole 60-day thing, I was like high anxiety. Now I'm like, yo, just have fun and be you. Because let me tell you something. If they after this 30 day, they're like, sorry, Rashid, but you're gonna have to let you go. All right, boo boo, all fine. I just thank you for this time. Just make sure I'm just collecting my unemployment.
Are you gonna send them a thank you email?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
I mean, why not? Might as well end it
believe
off.
that.
Like, what was it? What was that saying? The saying is like, your first impression is just as great as your last impression. So,
Really? Because we all just got laid off without a single warning. So
yeah.
why should I give
But
up?
yeah, that's the thing that they just. I mean, they're gonna let me. I mean, I hope they don't let me go because I
They're
need
not
my
gonna let
coins.
you go.
But
I
if
got it.
push comes to shove, if they find out I'm not a good fit for the team, I'm not gonna get butt hurt, and I'm in
Do
New
you
York
feel
City.
that you're not a good fit? Well,
No, no.
I mean, well, since we're on it, let's talk about it. How do you feel?
No, I really feel like it speaks for itself. It's like everyone relies and they communicate with me perfectly fine, and
You said everybody lies.
No, relies on me, relies, not lies. How could you imagine? Oh, we like your work, Rashid. It fucking sucks. Like,
You got Game of Thrones and you all fighting for
right?
the Iron Throne.
Like Tyrell. You know what? Come to think of it, because there's four of us, we could easily each be put into a Games of Thrones house.
And just put it in
Right?
the
It's like, call me. What was Snow? Snow is
No. Lannister was the crazy one. The king,
Incest.
The queen. Yeah, the incest one.
Terrell was the
What's it the rich people? Terrell.
Was the rich people
John Snow,
Jon Snow?
but that was his bastard name.
Right, was as our viewers are like
Stark. There
Stark.
you
Yeah,
go.
I am
Damn, it took
definitely
me like a
Stark.
whole 5 fucking minutes. I had to go through everybody's name.
Yeah.
And I'm like Arya. Stark. Arya Stark. There we go.
So I'm definitely a Stark family. My boss is, I don't think he's Lannister. He's more Tyrell than anything. With the rich people and the Latino ladies that I work with, they're definitely Lannister
You
minus
got
the
the
incest.
monogram towel.
Right. So it's like, you
These
know,
fucking peasants. I'm not sure the break room with town.
but we all get along. We're great. We have like this like connection. So I don't believe that I'm going to be easily put out in the next 30 days, like
I mean,
by
it's gonna
time
be
of Pride.
40,
But if they do, then they do. But I don't see that happening.
I don't think so. Like I told you, it's just a logistical thing.
Yeah.
And they're just lazy.
But you know what sucks though is that whenever you go on YouTube, it's like, oh, Pip, like how do I get, better my performance for a Pip? That's when you get like flooded from social media saying how you're on a Pip, that means you're on your way out. Pip means people that's out the door or something like that, or find another position.
It just has that connotation. But
Yeah.
if you've been at the job long, like
It's 2 years for me.
I was at Baltic for I think 2.5, and so on and so forth. So I already knew. I mean, I carried the team, so I'm gonna say it. I don't care what Panda tells you. I don't care what Panda says. I have 5 staff members that will vouch and tell you that I carried the team. So when we got and this is the other thing I told you. Usually pips happen with changes in management or where they go from. For example, in my case, it was social work. So we went from quality to quantity. Because then it became more about pumping out the numbers. Getting the intakes done, as opposed to actually helping the clients, getting them the services they need, and making sure they had this.
Talk about it.
Because the CEO we had, he was very people centered, and he was very let me help you help yourself. Because the agency I worked at was pretty much people. It was mental health. Everybody that worked on staff was either an addict, a junkie, crazy, bipolar, schizophrenic, missing an arm, whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna be PC. If anybody's offended, people, if you get offended by those terms, that's fine. I will take the L, as Sosa likes to say on this one. But it was pretty much staffed by, because that's what it was. It was part of the peer advocacy movement. So it was pretty much everybody on staff had multiple diagnoses. I mean, I have 7, but that's besides the point. So when he left, someone else took over. And that someone else was more business centered. So we went from having a, service based nonprofit, structure to a more corporate. And then all of a sudden, that's when they brought the PIP in. And then that's when they became all about like, we went from like, because it was kind of like, you ever been to Google?
Yes.
The office, how it's very like kind of like startup-y.
Yeah.
You're all together. It went from that to like almost a fucking psych ward because everybody had their own desk. Then there were barriers.
Oh, you gotta love those
desk had to have
cubicles.
a stapler here, paper here. You couldn't
And that
have
one photo of your cat.
You couldn't have a photo of your cat.
You couldn't have a photo of your cat?
Yeah, no photo, no this, no that, no that. We went from like such a actual nurturing, welcoming place to like a fucking
military base.
Yeah. And like I said, that then they instituted the PIP after that. And that's when you told me about it, I told you the same thing. I'm like, that's probably because either a shift in management or they're moving from whatever culture it is you have to a more like really, really streamlined, performance-based corporate type of situation.
Yeah. Would PIP works like let's say if we are company owners, would you implement a PIP for your organization?
No, what the fuck do you need a PIP?
Right.
You hire these people,
right?
Because that's my whole thing. Like, unless if you have more than like, I'll even be honest, if you have like more than 50 employees, I guess yes. But when you have a small team of 4. and you need to pip them, that tells me you don't know your staff, or you don't directly work with them, or you don't manage them, or you're just fucking lazy. Because every job I have, but then again, that's just me. That's a me thing. Every job I've had, I have everybody figured out. And I'm not even the manager. I'm not even the supervisor. This motherfucker likes this. This motherfucker doesn't get along with her. This motherfucker's going to clock in, disappear, come back 6 minutes later, then do his job. This one is the one you leave him alone because that's how he is. Don't talk to that one because when you start talking to that one, she's going to run your ear out. She's not going to get any work done. So if you as a manager don't know your staff like that, then the problem is not the staff. The problem is you. You shouldn't need a pip to tell you that. Especially when you've been working with a person, like once they go past their probation period, like I said, unless you don't directly work with those people and you're in the office all fucking day and someone else is doing it, you don't need a pip because you should be able, just by being part of the, but then again, that was also my thing. I was more of a front line manager. I was in the trenches with the staff.
Right.
Like even though I had all the managerial positions I had, even though I had an office, my own space, so on and so forth, I was barely ever at my office because I was always with the team doing what we needed to be done. There to support, back up, fill in. If someone called out, it's not like, oh, Jason, I need you to cover. Like, I'll help you guys out. Yeah. Let's get this shit done. Let's knock it out.
Yeah.
I don't need a pit for that.
Right. If my team, like you just mentioned before, if my team is small, like I have like a small team, I'm not going to, and this is my organization, hypothetically speaking, or maybe in the future, I'm not going to pip it because I've worked with you. And not just that, but I know what you're doing, and I know
because then that's the other part.
We both know each other. We both know what we're doing, right?
Then that's the other part. That's the manager and supervisor. Then, if you know there's stuff that needs to be worked on, that's where you as a leader have to come in and be like, okay, what is it that they need to? What stuff do they need that needs to be? Like that.
Right.
I don't want to say strengths and weaknesses because I think that's kind of like insulting sometimes. But if you know this person is underperforming, and you know they're underperforming because of X, Y, Z reason, then you shouldn't let them keep underperforming. You as a manager supervisor should step in and be like, let me figure out how, from a productive and positive way. Because, you can't just be like, oh, bitch, like, you fucking suck. Like, everybody else submits their report by 5 o'clock. You send it at 5:15. Or she sent me a 30-page PowerPoint with highlights, music, and Nicki Minaj twerking. You just sent me a picture of a duck. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, maybe they need reinforcement in PowerPoint. Maybe they need support skills. Maybe there's something that's not clicking. Like I said, person, manager, supervisor, whatever, that's on you. That's not on your team.
Right. Right.
It's like the same thing. Like if you have someone who comes late all the time, why am I gonna put on the pip? Oh, you need to work on your time. Yeah. He's late. Yeah. So if he's been coming in late for a whole year, you haven't done something about it. Whose fault is that? Yeah.
And plus, also, can we just mention too, like life happens to everybody. Not to say that well, life is happening to me, and I managed to keep my work thing all together. I'm like that's great for you. But listen, just because you got your shit together and you can deal with the challenge of life at home to your work-life balance is at a perfect par, doesn't mean the next individual isn't like going through something.
When people tell me that,
it's like, well, you gotta find balance.
You know what I tell them? When people tell me that, I get into a lot of confrontation. No, that shit irks me. That is a serious trigger. When people tell me that, I tell them this. I'm like, okay, so basically, because I had a boss tell me that, and I told him, I was like, well, if I play the lotto, it doesn't mean I'm gonna win. Yeah. There's no guarantee. So I could play the lotto. You could play the lotto. I could hit the jackpot. You not. We both play the lotto, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we both paid $1 ticket. 2 different outcomes. See where I'm going with this? Because that happened to us. Because I used to work as a contractor for MTA overnight, and that's when shit happens on the train. I mean, look at you today. You came all the way from the Shire, and the 2 trains not working, so on and so forth. God. So he brought it up in the meeting. He's like, oh, I live in Connecticut, and I drive 2 hours, and I get there early. If I could get up early and drive from Connecticut and get there early, you could leave your house 15. I'm like, sir, are you compensating me for the 15? So I told him, okay. No, because this was also why I also get in trouble at work. Well, I used to. Because I'm like, okay, so let's say I leave an extra 15 minutes. So now I'm at the site a whole 45 minutes early. Am I being compensated for those 45 minutes? Facts. So because I'm supposed to follow your example now, I have to spend 45 minutes of my life at a station doing absolutely nothing No,
No.
I got it here. I got there when I got there. Be happy I came in. Shit,
Yeah.
you got people dropping left and right.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not a good attitude to have, but at the same time, it's like
But
let's keep it real.
you
Don't be
can't.
fucking
I would
stupid.
never compare my life to
Because
anybody's.
you don't know anybody else's life.
I don't know anybody's
I
like.
don't drive a
and-
Bentley, bitch.
Right. I don't even got a car. And
I
it's
used
like.
my limited metric
right.
car by the job. I don't even think I used the job metric car.
One thing I'll do is I'll never compare my life to somebody else, and I would never say that they got it better than me. Would never compare in that sense, or I got it better than most.
It's like in social work when they
Yeah,
tell you
never.
Motivational interviewing. Don't ever say, "Well, at least."
Yeah,
It's like that same
yeah.
concept.
It definitely is that same concept, and you know, it is just like when that happens, or you just know, and you know, let's say for instance, like a coworker came up to you and they let you in. That's not even easy. First off, of what's going on. It's like, okay, these are the things that's going on. At least it comes to you at a professional aspect of like, how do you manage certain periods of life where it's kind of like life is given, and what do you do? That's great, you know, and you give an advice, but never be the boss to be like, well, actually,
I've been here for 20 years,
and
but
that's
shut the fuck up.
and I
You
did
want a
this,
cookie?
and I went through that, and I went that. So you're supposed to? No, I ain't supposed to do nothing. But
Is that why you've been here for 4 years with the same pay rate, and I came in and got promoted 2 months after coming in, but you've been here for 4 years?
for the record, like I said before, I love my team. I love them a lot. Like this, I
They not
really.
listening to this.
I mean, maybe they might like say, "Is that Rashid? Let me see something." But like,
Turn around, do 360.
I love my team, and I really want to continue business with them and continue, you know, my years with them. Of course, I mean, yeah, because like they're a whole organized motherfucking nation. So I would love to continue my adventures with them. But if they feel that, let's say, come at the time of pride, that it's not a good fit, no worries.
You're in your head about it.
I
You're
am.
in your head.
I should
I
let it
keep
go.
telling you,
Don't be in your head about it, guys.
No,
Listen.
I mean, be in your head about it, but at the same time, like I already told you what it is. Like you're making the most about it. But you know, that's
You're
one
right.
thing
Facts.
I've learned this year is to just let people have their moment, live in whatever they're living in.
Right.
Let them bask in it, and then eventually, when they're done, continue from there. Don't be that person that's like, oh, you know, blah, 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 you'll be okay. They're like, no, if he wants to have a whole breakdown, let him have that breakdown. Once he's done with the breakdown and he rests and sleep, well,
Yeah.
carry them. Oh, no, you can't have a breakdown. That's not like you, blah, blah, blah. Nah, sometimes
No,
people
sometimes have to go through the breakdown.
People wanna,
You know what? Let's talk about that, because a lot of times, like when they see someone that's going through a moment in life, right, or just going through like a crab in a barrel, or like literally at their lowest of lows, a lot of times you want to quickly like nurture it and be like, oh no, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. Nah, son, let them go through it. Let them go through it, because you know what? When you let somebody go through it, the moments that they don't really feel like they're gonna make it, and they're like, you know, really at their worst. Don't get me wrong. I mean, of course, it could lead to worser things like ideations. I hope that doesn't happen, but if we're at the bottom, you have no choice but to look up from whatever situation it is. And no matter how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs you may be, you know that at least there's an option for you to go up, and you just climb your way up.
And you also have to let them have that for themselves. You
Right.
can't take that away from them. You
Right.
can't make that decision for them. Like
Truth.
if I want to go
Truth.
outside and scream and have a whole breakdown, let me have my breakdown. Because then you
Let
step
me
in and
scream
you tell
out.
me not to have it. I'm going to go fuck yourself. You know, I'm
Right.
going to kick your motherfucking ass down.
Exactly.
Like, you know what?
I will never forget one time I was in the city and I was going to work over at the movie theaters, back when I was working at the movie theaters in the 14th Street Union Square area. There was a woman, I'll never forget. It was like mid-afternoon, right? Going to work. A white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes. She had like a blanket. I don't know, like this like kid's blanket. And she was
it
in
Barney?
flip-flop, might as well be flip-flops, and she was walking in the middle of the street in her like, you know, little blanket, and was just walking head held high, and she looked like she was like came from crying but not crying too hard. And then so a car, you know, was ongoing, was like, you know, honk honk, and it was like almost came close. She stopped, she went in front of it, and she slaps the car's hood, and she's like, no.
Wait till I cross.
And then she stared at him glaringly, and then she got back her blanket, and she continued to walk in the middle of the street.
I would have loved to, you know what, at that point in time, with the glare, I'm like, you know what, go ahead, I'll wait for you. Like, it's okay. The light's going to change. You go ahead, man. Whatever you going through, you go ahead.
And then a part of me, of course, because we're New Yorkers, so we're like, another
Just
crazy in the
another
middle of the
day.
street. We don't really think much of that. But then as the years went by, you're like, yo, you know what? She did that though. She ate. She went through her moment and she just like expressed it to the best of her ability of walking in the street with a blanket, clothes, of course. But yeah, a lot of times, sometimes we have to go through that major
It's a form of
transformational moment.
release.
Yeah, it's a form of
It's a
release.
form of release. It might
Yeah.
not seem like the most positive, because then that's also another thing I've kind of on my journey of therapy and dealing with the nine voices in my head and so on and so forth. Sometimes you just have to let it be,
Mm.
because I think one thing is we get so caught up, and you can even relate this to gay relationships and dating and so on and so forth. We get caught up in certain things that it's like, oh, I'm antisocial. That must mean something's wrong with me, because according to social norms, you're supposed to have friends and go outside. Like, granted, introvert, extrovert, semantics, so on and so forth. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
ambiverts. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get started on that and touch that, but just generalization, or for example, I shouldn't be depressed more than 3 days out of the week. That means something wrong. Like, we get so caught up in that thing that then we try to kind of like do things to fix it,
Right.
that we get so lost in it that sometimes we end up making it worse, or going so far off that later on, after we think we progress, something happens, we go back to whatever it is, or we have a moment and, we get depressed. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, like, oh, wait, what's going, like, oh no, wait, like, oh, what, it's been 3 days? I haven't gotten out of bed, I haven't taken a shower, I smell like balls, what's going on here?
And you know what, I have to say, like, when it comes to, like, depression or anything like how you mentioned before, we have a better handle. Well, not say there's no better way. Some of us do, some of us don't. But when a lot of us that are coming from, let's say, the 70s, growing up, we have like a stronger mental barrier when it comes to like handling certain emotions and
And
feelings.
we know how to let go
And we learn how to let
easier.
go easy. Like,
That's one thing I've
right.
noticed. Now that you mention that, especially with gay relationships, not that straight is any different, but just because it relates more to us than anything else. That a lot of people come, see what I'm doing? Exactly, with like the trauma and the baggage, and they don't let go. That they bring it into their relationships. Their relationships don't work, and then they're blaming the other person, like, "Oh, this is your fault." Blah 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 blah. Yada, yada. And I'm
projecting.
like, sir, let it go. Like, granted, you had a bad experience, so on and so forth. Okay, he cheated on you. That doesn't mean that every single person after that is gonna cheat on you. Take that as, okay, when you were with this person and he cheated on you, what were the signs?
Yeah.
Why did he cheat on you? What led to it? So that way, when you're with this person, you look out for that and you pay attention to that. But you're not gonna do this whole every single day thing, like, oh, you usually get home at 5 o'clock. It's 5:05. What were you doing? But so then why be with a person?
Yeah.
And then to blame them and be like, oh no, I'm not the toxic one, I fixed myself. But no, you didn't.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Because
you brought that, you carried it, and now you're projecting and using it. No.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like, if you go into like any relationship, like if you're going into a relationship carrying old baggage, you're gonna get the same clothes. Like, so you're going to get like, you're gonna still
The same results.
same results. Exactly. If you never quite took it and you never did that deep dive as to why I'm clocking this person every 30 minutes, asking why they ain't back yet,
Why are
and
we
this,
fighting every single day?
right? If you didn't realize that came from you watching your parents and then watching your mom say that to your dad, or you got this from someplace that like is causing this adult hindrance. If you don't go through that trauma and just heal from there, you're going to continue to do so. And it's so easy because the feeling, the sensation of being right and being validated by your friends. That's like cute. Like, yeah, girl. Yeah, they ain't telling you what time to get home. That's the yeah, they ain't shit. Yeah, oh, he got be he outside, all right. He's cheating. Like, it's easy to feed into the negativity because it feels so good and it's so validating because it's happening at that present moment. But if you just take the time to like go back,
mind you, the whole time he was working overtime to take you on
That's
vacation.
it.
The whole time he was working overtime to take you on
or
vacation.
he was stuck in the train station that had no service.
And he was over here accusing him of sleeping with everybody. Nah.
And then he's just trying his best way to get back home from work, but the trains are acting special, so he had to go outside to get a cab. You know.
There's two things I wanted to pick your brain on.
Go ahead, pick away.
No, I have to pick one of them because we have like about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But welcome back. The first one was because I was talking to Terry about it for the past 2 days. It's the bad boy syndrome. I think that one we might just turn into an actual episode.
Okay.
Just for context purposes, the whole, and you know, I hate being with the cheese man, this celebrity said, but that celebrity, and that one slapped this one. So like that whole Halle Berry, hallelujah,
hallelujah,
hallelujah, and
hallelujah, Halle Berry
situation. That was the context of it. But then I was having a conversation with Terry because he mentioned a specific example of how he had a female friend that met this dude who was like straight red flags, hood, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. But they got together and they were able to work through it, and he became a better person, and he wasn't about the life that he used to be before. Basically, oh, here we go. Now I remember that often people get with. Now you know this is Terry, so you know where this is going. He was was doing the whole struggle of the black man, black red. So he was saying that females and also gay male in particular will go with a certain type of guy. Because it shows everyone in their culture that they're still about that life, especially people that have either moved up, done better for themselves, or kind of like left the ghetto, for lack of better terms, or are now in a better place, that they have this pattern where they, you know, go for the guys that represent all of that, so that way the people don't think like, oh, he or she's bougie now. They think they blah, 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 blah. That one I think will come back to... we might turn that one into a whole bigger episode because I think there's more to unpack there with that one. So we're not gonna do that one. We're gonna briefly go into the whole the whole open relationship thing, because I know we did an episode with Dennis. That we did like 2 episodes on that. I think we did 1 episode with everybody. I don't know if me and you did an episode about it, but I keep seeing it come up on Twitter. Because you know when I be taking my shits, I'll be on Twitter. I mean, like, okay, like, listen, I'm old, okay? Like, I don't take my fiber, so every journey to the toilet is like a whole, you know, I'm just sitting there like, okay, like, drip, like, so I be scrolling. Listen, I'm not, I got to work on my diet. I've been eating a lot out, but now job situation changed, so maybe I might start meal prepping and cooking and eating more healthy. Anyway, I forgot what the post was, but pretty much it's all more or less the same. Oh, it was one of those that trend they have now with the whole what's one thing on the gay agenda that I forgot what the exact wording is they try to get you to believe or something like that. I forgot the exact verbiage and wordage, and they were like that. It was pretty much more or less the same thing, that people in open relationships either want their cake to eat it too, or that it's just a way to still be a hoe but still be with someone. I guess more or less that was kind of like the main 2 thoughts that came to it, and most of the comments were more or less the same. The one big one was that usually one is for it, one is not for it, and one of the partners is only in it because of his love and attachment for the one that does the whole open relationship. And the whole other thing, the whole other big kind of like more or less what everybody said or was on the same page about was the whole wanting to have your cake and eat it too type situation. So, well, first it's like, what's your take on open relationships? If you want to go specifically to polygamy, drop tools, all that, so forth.
No.
So, but mostly just kind of like, we're in a relationship. I mean, they could both be open. One could be open, but being in a relationship is still one or more or both having partners outside of the actual relationship.
Okay.
I guess if we had to kind of like define it and
Yeah, I think like when it comes to most things or anything that's kind of like new or outside of the traditional norms, like monogamy, which I think if anything, monogamy is unnormal than what it appears to be as normativity. But when it
because
comes,
not to cut you
yeah,
off,
go
that's
ahead.
another one we're gonna have to
Yeah,
we're gonna have to tackle that whole
yeah, the whole ideology
monogamy
behind monogamy
and the
because
gays and the concept of,
that
oh, I need a husband, I need to find a husband. Yeah.
that's not normal. It never like
We're gonna have to come back to that one. That one.
yeah, that's gonna be another episode because monogamy in itself is religion based, and when it came to just kind of like of a mono type being with somebody, it's coming from the Catholic Christianity
Because
religion,
we're about to hit summer. Pride's happening, so
right?
once Pride is over, everybody's gonna go back to booing up, and
Right.
everybody's opening their booty holes and singing that thing because it's Pride. Let's not get started on the commentary about DC weekend.
Yeah,
And I saw your
so
boyfriend there. Mind your business.
we were open. We were open. It's always been open. It's like since the dawn of time of caveman to present, right? Um, so when it comes to open relationship, it seems to be like this the new taboo or the new ad norm. My thing is that my personal opinion about open relationship is that it's very beautiful. It's beautiful in the sense that you
And how is that different from some of the motherfuckers in the religions that be having like 8 wives?
that part.
I don't see you complaining
That
about
parts.
that.
That's the Solomon. I'm not a religious
They got like
guru,
36
but like
different
yeah,
kids from 9 baby mamas.
yeah,
Well, not
exactly.
really, but
It's like one king.
Let me roll it back. That was a little offensive. That was a little offensive. You got 32 kids with like 9 different wives. Ain't nobody saying nothing, but because me and my partner having not that I'm in a
relationship.
I was. Because then the other part too that was that the whole conversation stemmed from the fact that because the situation with Snuck Snuck.
Yeah.
So we haven't had that conversation yet about the whole open thing. We're kind of not there yet because we're kind of like at a point in time where it's the right person but the wrong time.
Okay.
And there's a lot of external barriers.
Gotcha.
And now with the whole job situation and the changes got this one. So we're going really slow, which is different from what I'm used to. But at some point in time, I'm going to have whenever it is, if, because I don't know what's about to happen. If it does decide to go the serious route, then I have to have that conversation with him about that situation because you all guys know my take on relationships and where the relationship is going to have to go if he wants to continue.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the other part where that whole conversation came from. I'm sorry, I mean.
Yeah, no, please, by all means. So open relationship, why do I find it beautiful? I find it beautiful because like you're already solidified and you're confident in the relationship that you have with each other. Like you know for a fact that it doesn't matter who the other person may be or what they may bring to the table. You know that if they were to venture outside of the relationship to be with them, that you have in all totality confidence that they'll come back to you because what you have is like very authentic that can't be found anywhere else, no matter how great the sex is or the company or the conversation may be.
You fucking therapist. You always put everything so eloquent and so therapist and so positive and so fucking rainbows and
it's just like there's no if you can't be. I mean, of course, there's insecurities everywhere. You can be in an open relationship and insecure because you're just not too sure. But in itself, once you take time to create the boundary together, create the contract together, and just know that we're not doing this because we are, tired of each other or we've just having the same sex, whatever the case may be. We're just giving each other just a space to grow because, we can't really truly develop who we are as an individual growing throughout life without meeting new people. So open relationship kind of like brings that to you. It brings like that. It opens the door for you to rediscover new things about yourself that you can't quite harness all together in just one relationship. And some people who are definitely cool with monogamy is kind of like, I can be with my partner once with myself and still learn things I didn't know before, which is fantastic and great. But sometimes it's having like intellectual conversations over coffee, tea, or just in a sapiosexual or in a very intimate relationship to like kind of like open those borders for you to discover new things about yourself. So I'm definitely pro for open relationship, and I can understand monogamy, and I think like where we're heading to in today's world, 2025 moving forward, it's going to be more open than anything.
What, these fucking rent prices?
I mean, yeah.
You don't need to be in a relationship with 3 people.
It's gonna be open because
that's why I'm dating 4 people, because we're all sharing, we're splitting everything, the
right?
bills, the rent, everything.
And plus,
far
if you
away.
watch like certain TV shows, there was this new episode, not a new episode. There's like this new TV series called Four Seasons. I'm not sure you saw it on Netflix, where there was like so there was like a gay couple in the Four Seasons, and the gay couple that is played by my favorite actor, I can't remember his name right now. I'm so sorry. But anyways,
we forgive you.
I know. So, but it was portrayed like the gay relationship. They've been together for a black guy and an Italian guy. They've been together for such a long time together, but they're open. So it's like, they play together and they also play outside. But one thing's for sure, that they solidify that they love each other. Right. And they're concerned about each other's health and making sure that they're healthy and they're not damaging themselves.
That's the main thing that is being confused. Because it already has this stigma. I mean, I will outright say it. I'm in defense of it. I have my own reasons for preferring open relationships. It's been discussed. Go listen to episode 7 or 8 or whatever of the podcast. I'm not repeating it just for lack of time. But I think people are confusing actual open relationships to agreements or people just being greedy. Because when you're in an open relationship, you have, and I've said this many times before, you have it's a fucking word I'm looking for, it's not coming to me right now. You have standards.
Yeah.
You have boundaries. That's what I was looking for. You have set things in motion. This, that. Like, for example, repeating myself because I said it before, but I said it again. When I was in mine, we had an agreement. No catching feelings for other people. No fucking in the bedroom. If you want to bring them back, you need to notify the other one. If you meet someone like, I met this person, you don't have to go into details, what you're going to do, who's going to do who's top, who's bottom me. So like, listen, I met Jordan, I'm feeling it, we vibing, we're going to go see what it's about. Cool. We had that conversation, so when it happens, it happens. As opposed to most, and listen, I'm not coming for anybody, but a lot of y'all just get with people to get with people. And when y'all get with people, you carry that little Rolodex, and everybody you still messing with, you still actively messing with them, and you don't tell them that you with somebody or you talking to someone. You just keep your options open. I think that's what's going on. Is people is doing that. They're carrying that, and they're equating the two together. So now you're like even further making the stigma better. Now you're making us people who like actually have productive relationship with people, who are actually married to people and pay taxes together, live together, so on the beaches, sometimes have different sexual partners, making us look bad and saying, oh, this, that, greedy, you're selfish, you just want to eat your cake and eat it too, etc. It's like, no, there's more to it.
Yeah, and I kind of, I hate as well, kind of like in the same sentiment when it comes to open relationships, like, you just want to have a cake and eat it too. Like the same implementations being put onto trans as well. It's like, but if you're going to be a trans female or if you're going to be a trans male, then you have to be with it. You have to stick through it. Because like if you are trans female, if you're trans female and you're not fully transitioning to have a kitty cat and you still keep the penis, then you're being greedy. And I said, what does that even
That's none
mean?
Of your
Right? It's not your business.
Right. That person.
Right. It's like trans is being greedy. They're not being greedy. Listen, people who are quick to say they're just being greedy and this way for themselves are less low-key like jealous. They're jelly, and they're all caught up in their feelings because
they don't understand the dynamic.
Or they just simply don't understand the dynamics. Just talk
work
about
for
it.
You, except because you
right.
don't know if the person they with, this has been
right.
ongoing. That's what maybe the other person is into that. I mean,
exactly.
South Park used to do that whole thing where, they had that episode about people who were into chicks with dicks. I mean,
yeah.
that's a throwback. That was like the OG, maybe like season 2, Comedy Central, 10 o'clock, South Park. mind your fucking business.
It's not your business.
If that's what they two consenting consent, that's what the people
Right.
so involved with everyone like, oh, that's
Right.
nasty, blah 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 blah.
People are
You don't pay
concerned.
my sub. You
that
don't pay
part.
my rent. When you pay my PlayStation Plus for the year, you can say something.
Then say something, but even contributing
then,
nothing to this? No, not at all.
No.
People are more concerned of what other people are doing behind closed
And
doors
house
and their
falling apart.
parts.
Go work on your house first. before you
Right.
come
It's
over here
like
throwing
clearly
stones.
your little house in the prairie is on fire, but you are so concerned on what's under
Like,
his
I'm
or
not
her
saying don't
pants.
have an opinion, don't have thoughts, don't have perspective, so on and so
But
forth.
don't blast it,
But
though.
don't blast it either. Like, there's
Yeah.
a limit between an opinion and you
Yeah.
just being loud.
Yeah.
And you just being obnoxious. And you
Right.
just being bothered by something, so you have to have
And what's wrong with
something to
people
say.
simply saying, I don't know?
Well, I don't like that. And just moving on from it.
I mean,
It's
just
like,
moving
oh,
on
no,
from
I don't like that. She must be dirty.
Right,
This,
right.
Oh, that's
It's like,
extra,
you know
for
what? Just say that you don't understand how open relationship works. Let somebody who's in a polyamorous relationship educate you,
Or have
even
a
though the
conversation-
source is right there.
That part.
Right.
Y'all be quick to say things, but you have never actually sat down
Right.
or had a conversation with them.
Right.
'Cause-
Sit with a trans person, sit with a trans woman, sit with a trans man, and just realize how much human you guys are together and how much in relatability that you guys
Have an
aren't that different.
interaction.
Have an interaction.
Just like I said, a
Right.
lot of the people that I know that are open are actually married. With
Yes.
like they have insurance
Yes.
under both partners' names.
Right.
And they, like I said, they have boundaries and agreement. This is allowed. This
But
is
you-
not allowed. But then the people that openly walk around saying, "Yeah, I'm in an open relationship," be that one dude that got like 8 side dudes,
Right.
and is messing with the fucking the coworker, the mailman, the dude at McDonald's, and his like cousins. So I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I'm open. That's not open, bro. That's messy. That's
but you,
dirty.
but you, one of the things that really bothers me is too, right? Is like those that were those in an open relationship, but yet the second that they turn 65, they're going on a cruise or swinger cruise to sleep with other married couples. So I'm sorry, like you've had like this little holier than thou,
About, oh.
like I can't do open relationship, it has to be monogamy.
But I'm into threesomes.
But yet you're in the threesomes in the middle of the sea at the age of 65.
That's all. That's all. Oh, I'm going to a swingers party. I'm like, wait. So you have no problem going to a swingers party,
Right.
having threesomes, but the fact
Yeah.
that two consenting adults,
Are agreeing to
consenting
have an open relationship.
and have multiple.
They just be greedy.
With that said,
With that being said,
you got a long ass trip back to
yes,
the
I
side.
do. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Freestyle 2.0. Hope you guys had a great and amazing time with yours truly, Arara, the T-Bear Teddy Bear therapist, and with...
This motherfucker always stealing my outros, yo.
What you want me to say?
It's all, I mean, we could alternate.
Okay, so let's alternate.
Nah,
Go ahead.
Nah. You know what? I'm gonna finish it this time because I got a whole tagline and everything.
What's your tagline?
So I got the one for when we start the podcast,
Uh-huh.
and then we got the one for the end.
Oh, okay,
when
what's
we
it?
finish the podcast. So
What do we say?
Usually, so you do that. Then and Dexter, and then I thought about it. I wrote it myself. Be
Okay.
like, to the stars and us, be responsible.
Oh,
Bam,
I like
bitches.
that.